Hello everyone, this is Neha Tulsyan from Crescent Creation. Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm creating 3 cards using a small 4x4 stamp set. This stamp set is from the new release from Crescent Stamps called You Have Got Mail. One of my 3 cards is an interactive card. It's a spinner plus shaker card. So let's get started. I started with creating the background for my interactive card. I'm using the bubble stencil from Lawn Fawn to create my background. You can use any circle stencil that you have in hand for this purpose. To ink up each bubble, I'm using tumbled glass, wilted violet and Victorian velvet distress oxide inks. I'm using 3 different blending brushes for all my 3 colors so that I don't overload one brush with all the colors and end up with just a mixed color. I wanted all the 3 colors to show separately on my bubbles. So here I'm going to go ahead and keep inking my background until it's filled with bubbles. I'm overlapping few of the bubbles to give it a more natural look. And once I'm done with the bigger bubbles, I'll go ahead and use the smaller circles in the stencil and add some bubbles, the smaller bubbles all over the background. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add the shiny part on the bubble using my white ink and that crescent moon shape on the stencil. White ink that I'm using here is a pigment ink, so I'm being careful not to smear the ink because the pigment ink takes time to dry. Once I'm done inking all my bubbles, I'll go ahead and use my heat tool and heat set this whole background and make it ready for the next steps. Off camera, I have die cut these 3 pieces for the spinner mechanism. The first one here is this ring that I die cut out of white cardstock. The next is another ring which is a little bigger than this white one. And I die cut that out of an acetate sheet. I'm going ahead and gluing this white ring to my background first. This ring will be my guide to put my foam tape in place. I added the clear sheet in place, which you really don't have to. You can place the clear sheet even after you glued the foam tape. And now I'm just going ahead and gluing the foam tape around the inside of the ring, making sure that I stay flush with the edges. I have removed the backing of the foam tape here, so it's easy for me to bend it to create the whole circle. You want to make sure you don't have any gaps while gluing the foam tape or your shaker pieces will come loose. I'll go ahead and add some anti-static powder tool around the foam tape to make sure nothing sticks. Then I'll go ahead and place the clear sheet ring in place. After that, I added some shaker material in the center and then I closed the shaker well with a clear sheet of acetate and then glued the 3rd circle ring that I die cut earlier. Sorry, that part of the video was lost, but I just added the shaker materials and closed my shaker well. That's all. Here I'm stamping the sentiment, I hope you love this, from the same stamp set. And now I'm gluing this piece to a white card base that measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Off camera, I've colored and die cut the soap image from You Have Got Mail stamp set from Kindred Stamps in rainbow color, and now I'm gluing it to the acetate ring that we placed in this mechanism earlier. I'm using some strong liquid here to glue all my images, and to make sure everything is equally placed apart, I'm gluing first the top and the bottom and the left and the right, and then I will glue all the corner images. Adding some white and black gel pen details to all my soap images. And I finished this card by adding some Americana Jewel mix from Crescent Creation. For my next card, I started with a white piece of cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And here I'm using a grass stencil from Lawn Fawn and creating my background. I'm creating 2 layers of grass border here using Mode Lawn and Lucky Clover Distress Oxide inks. Once I'm done inking the grass, I'll go ahead and use the stencil to mask off the grass and add some color to the sky using tumbled glass distress oxide ink. I just lightly inked the whole panel using my blending brush, keeping the concentration more towards the bottom. I also brought in Stormy Sky to add some more color to the area where the grass and the sky meet. Once happy with the color, I removed my stencil and cleaned off my surface. And now it's time to glue my pieces that I have already colored and die cut off camera. Again, the images are all from the stamp set from Kindred Stamps called You Have Got Mail. I glued the mailbox directly using some liquid glue, and the boy and the dog images are glued using some foam tape. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment, "You have got mail," using some black ink. And then I'll go ahead and mount this card on a white card base that measures 4 inches by 5.5 inches. And here I realized my card base was a little taller, so I trimmed it off using my Guillotine trimmer. And to finish this off, I added some Glory of the Snow jewels from Crescent Creation. For my third card, I decided to use the tiny spice bottle image in the stamp set. So here I'm creating a ground for my spices to stand on. I have taped my card base with some post-it tape, and I am inking the bottom part with some vintage photo distress oxide ink. Here I am using my magnetic mat and ruler from VR Memory Keepers to help me hold my card base while I stamp my images. These two spice bottle images are so cute. I could not resist but stamp a couple of them. I used some Copic friendly black ink to stamp all my images, and here I'm stamping the sentiment. I colored all my images off camera, and now I'm just finishing off this card by gluing some Glory of the Snow jewels from Crescent Creation. And this finishes my 3 cards for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crafty videos. Here are a few more videos that you might like to watch. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day.